Actually, Jurgen Timber is also not a big guy; he's also a small guy.
But a strong.
But he was strong, but he never used. He only used his strength when it was really no other option. But most of the time, when he was in duel, although he was very small, he always won his duels. Are the owners, the board members really committed and wishing from the heart that you establish an academy?
Are they
There it starts.
patient enough? That is a very good question for our people.
First, what is the incentive to build this academy? Now he got sold for 40 million. 3 years ago it was maybe 10 million. So every year he played in the first team,
it added
to 20 million.
Yeah. This is like a business.
It is.
It's growing.
Yeah. So first of all, we need to know what is our goal, what is our ambition. That is a big thing. That's important. Then we need to define why we are here. What is our mission? What is the reason of our existence? What is the reason why we want to build this academy?
Have you followed Iranian football or any football player? Iranian football player?
No, not really. No.
Okay, that's good. I think I explained about Iranian football or football philosophy, long balls and winning second ball and then long balls and these traditional game models. But if and we don't have a modern academies in here, I think. If you were to design a football academy in here, what would be your top 3 priorities for us?
Actually, that's what I said. The finding the best players, finding the right coaches, having a good philosophy.
Yeah.
And of course, you need to find the right competition. So if it's, let's say, if the competition is not in the country, it becomes already very difficult. Of course, you can find competition within your academy, within your club, but you also need to play matches to get challenged, to get better, like we just said before.
Yeah.
So those 4 things, it's not 3, but it's 4 actually, and then there is a 5th one, especially when you let's say, okay, we want to establish an academy, and then it also needs to be very clear why you want to establish this academy. What is the follow-up of the academy? If there's a first, for example, if it's part of a club and the club has a first team and the owners, they really want to develop youngsters to get into the first team, and they are willing to invest for a longer period a certain amount of money, but also not only money, but also the giving the support and give it the time to develop. So if the governance of a club, the leaders, the board of a club is not 100% committed to the idea to develop young players into the first team, then it becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
So one of the top priorities is, are the owners, the board members really committed and wishing from the heart that you establish an academy?
Are they
there it starts.
patient enough? That is a very good question for our people.
First, what is the incentive to build this academy?
Yeah.
What is the reason that we want this?
Yeah, but this is very silly question, I think, but I have to ask it. When you say philosophy, because we think we have philosophy, but I doubt it. What is philosophy, Mr.
No,
Kalaus?
that's not a silly question. I think that's a very good question. Philosophy is actually, it starts with this. give me a little bit time to explain.
Okay, okay.
First of all, we need to know what is our goal, what is our ambition. That is a big thing. That's important. Then we need to define why we are here. What is our mission? What is the reason of our existence? What is the reason why we want to build this academy? This is the mission. We have the goal, the ambition, we have the mission, and we are who we are. So, what are our core values? And the Iranian culture is different than the Dutch culture or the Chinese culture. So, every culture has its own core values. I think you need to know those as well. If you have those three things, mission, ambition, and the core values, then and you know where you want to go, then you're going to build a philosophy. And the philosophy is not only, let's say, the playing style. It's not only philosophy. Philosophy is also how do we think we how do we think that kids are learning. Are they
Yeah,
learning by seeing? Are they learning by I tell them what to do and they do it? Or are they learning by discovering what is right, what is wrong, what is working, what is not working? So if we need to have an idea how our kids in Iran learn in the best way, if we know how they learn in the best way, that means that our coaching philosophy should be connected to the best way of learning for those kids.
yeah,
So the philosophy is bigger. It's the total of coaching, of how we guide players, how players learn, um, also how we want to play our way of playing. So philosophy it's much bigger than only a playing style.
yeah, yeah. I think the last sentence explain all of this for us in here.
Okay,
Okay. Uh,
good.
um, have a question. From your experience, what is the right process to develop and sell a talent step by step from academy to professional transfers? What should we do? What is this process? Generally.
So let me say, okay, is it from the academy into the first team of the club, or from an academy selling a player to another club, or
No, no, no. Academy, first team, and then sell this player to
okay,
just like a Gerald Hato, De
no,
Ligt, Frank de
yeah,
Jong.
okay, but then again, if there should be a logical pathway from academy into, let's say, reserve team into first team.
Yeah.
That can only work if the quality of the players is good enough.
Hmm.
Because a head coach, yeah, he needs to perform. So he needs the best players, what can help him to perform with the team. So the quality of the academy players should be good enough. But coaches always want players into the first team who can perform right away. But a youngster from an academy, he he needs to adapt to the level. He needs to learn because in under 19 or in the reserve team, that's a completely different situation than training in the first team squad with adults with good players. So you also need to give the players the time to uh, adapt to that situation. So what we did at Ajax, for example, players, we always said good enough is old enough. So it doesn't it has nothing to do with age. It
Yeah.
has to do with quality, and quality technical, tactical, but also mental and physical, and also social, emotional. You need to be
Yeah.
ready to go to the next step. Is the player already ready to go to the next step? No, because he is ready to go to the next step, to adapt to that level. He's not there yet. That takes time. So give him the time to train with the reserve team. If that level is easy or becomes more easy for him, then you can do the same thing with the first team. So it's always a gradual process. And then you give them some training minutes. Maybe you play a friendly with the reserves of the first team. Let them play. Maybe you have a squad of 23 players on the bench, and then maybe you have one or two spots in your squad that you can use for youngsters to get used to the dressing room, to get used to the let's say the processes around the first team with matches and training sessions. When we had winter camp and summer camp, we always invited the best talents
Yeah,
to join that, to so that the coach could also see them and work with them a little bit.
yeah. And I think uh, Gerald Hatto, I think, yeah, or
Yeah,
Matthias de Ligt. When
yeah,
you play these young kids, I of course they should have quality. I, I
yeah,
accept that. But when you play these player for 1 season, 2 season, or 3 season, eventually bigger clubs uh, come for them and want to
yeah,
pay them. Uh, Actually, Iran is a smaller scale
yeah,
compared to Netherlands. But I think uh, if we gave them chance, if we develop them, uh, we can sell them, and
yeah,
then we can use the money to develop more. Am I
yeah.
right?
That is the cycle of Ajax. So we develop players, we invest in development. They go to the first team, they perform, we sell them for a lot of money, and a big part of the money goes back to the development again. So we can keep on having this cycle, this
Cycle.
process. And then I think there's one thing that I also need to mention, that I said that the coach you have with your first team, he it should be part of hiring, if your head team coach, if this is your philosophy that you want to bring youngsters into the first team, he I don't know if you have a technical director in a
Yeah,
club,
we have.
but he should appoint the right head coach who can perform, but on the other hand is also open to give youngsters a chance.
Is this uh, a mandatory thing? I mean, the coach should accept these uh, condition. Can you bring a coach, uh, for example, Jose Mourinho come back to Benfica? They are
Yeah,
club like you, just like you,
yeah,
but Mourinho rather to have best and older player,
yeah,
and these two are not aligned. Uh,
yeah,
how these work is?
yeah. That's yeah. Eh, that's why I ask you if there is a technical director,
Yeah.
because I think he is in charge of of guarding the whole philosophy and business model of this club. So Benfica's business model is developing Portuguese players, or maybe buy players from other clubs
South
in
America.
Portugal, or yeah, Spain or whatever. Develop them, play them in the first team, and sell them for a lot of money, and have success also with the first team. So I think if the technical director is hiring a head coach, then the head coach should fit the philosophy and the business model of the club. So so yes, it's part of your hiring interview, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It is uh, because we have technical director.
Yeah,
Something in here are funny. We have something but they don't have the technical director just like your technical director, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me say something. We have
But above that, there is the owners and the presidents of the club, and they making the policy with the board members make the policies of the club. So
yeah,
if the policies are clear, then it's easy to make the right decisions.
yeah,
If the policy is not focused on bringing youngsters into the first team, then it will not happen. So
yeah,
simple is it.
yeah, yeah.
So it's
But
even one level higher. It should be on all the levels. It should be part of your working method, of your philosophy, of your policies. That's, I think, if you question is what makes Ajax special in developing youngsters, then this is on all the levels. They think in the same way
yeah,
and having the same goal.
yeah. Um, I think uh, I, I, I think I mentioned this in these questions, but I say it again. We have a very old national team,
Yeah,
31, 32 average age,
yeah,
and our younger player is not, they are not young, they are 25, 26.
okay.
uh, you know, they are not talent. I think they are past the talent time, and we are what is the solution for us from your perspective?
Yeah. Actually, I've seen this situation before with national teams. Um, Also here, I think in an association there is also a technical director, or at least the most of the time there is one. Um, I think this is the same as I said with the club. So if you have the technical director and you have the head coach, then I think the technical director should guard the long-term process of your national team. That means that he keeps an eye on the process of, let's say, every squad. If you see also in Holland, we have at this moment we have a lot of talented players in our national team.
Yeah,
We have some experienced players, but that is, let's say, 20% of the squad. Then 60% of the squad is the 25, 26, 27, 28 years. They are in the prime time of their life. And then there is, let's say, the 20% young talents who are part of the squad sometimes get some playing time, sometimes they sit on the bench, whatever, but they are already in that process. And I think that is a natural, normal balance where if the older players get out, some of the group of the middle group becomes the older players, the youngsters get into the middle group, and new youngsters, 20%, come in on the bottom. So, of course, sometimes the older players are more experienced, and maybe you want to have results now and you keep them playing. But then you must realize that at the end, if they are all, if this group becomes too big and they are really too old to perform, then the rest didn't get the experience. The rest of
yeah,
the squad behind them are not ready to perform. So you will lose probably 4 years
exactly.
of performing. So you need to have a gradual process of renewing your squad. That is,
Yeah, because I think there's a uh, cycle in here. In the our league, Iranian uh,
Mhm.
Premier League, all of coaches focusing on winning. We are, I think, a short-term society. I think we are uh, this society, and our talents, uh, even they can even play in our leagues, and our national coaches has some difficulty to pick young player because uh, they don't have experience enough. And what is the balance between the winning and developing? I think it we lost
If you
this.
say a head coach should always focus on winning the matches, because in the first team it's about winning the matches. But but on the so he needs to select the best players at this moment to perform. But again, if you are in a club or in an association where a technical director and the board is finally in the lead, yeah, of course, coach, you need to perform and you need to win. But if there are any moments to give youngsters already some playing minutes because you are 3-0 up, or at least have one or two spots in your squad for regular youngsters, to the same story I just gave. So head coach always looking for performance, and the board and technical directors make policies where the head coach has to follow to give youngsters chances. But youth coaches, they focus on the development of players. And under 19 reserve team, then it becomes a little bit a combination, because you also need to learn to perform and learn that you have to win in the first team. That cannot also not be it's only developing, and in the first team it's only performing. It also doesn't work. So there also need a sort of transition period on the 19 reserve team, where winning gets more and more focus on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but in Ajax, your head coach give the chance to Gerald Hatto to play because he's good.
Yeah, because he is good enough.
Yeah,
Because he is, and of course, you know that he maybe can make a mistake because he's young, but he will learn from that mistake. But that is again, if you pick the right head coach who dares to take those risks, and he believes that this youngster, if I give him the chance now and I accept that he maybe make one or two mistakes, and hopefully the consequences are not too big, but but then finally he learned from those mistakes, and then he will be one of my best players. And then maybe in the first year he needs to get the experience and learn and make a mistake, but then in the second, the third, and the fourth year he will add to the team, and he will make my team better.
Yeah, but I think Arsene Wenger has a quote. Hopefully, I said right. He said that there is no guarantee that older player have a mistake. Everybody have mistake
Yeah, yeah,
because when we analyze and see Italian teams, they rather to play older player.
yeah,
But are they successful every time? No. All of the can mistake. I
yeah,
think it is. I personally rather to playing a talent
yeah,
because everybody can mistake. So
yeah.
let's take a
Yeah.
risk.
And there's another reason, for example, at Ajax to play young players as well, uh, because it's adding value to your team. A young player is only increasing his value. So if you give him the opportunity, you give him the playing minutes, he can make some mistakes, but finally he will. Hato, now he got sold for 40 million. 3 years ago it was maybe 10 million. So every year he played in
Yeah,
the first
it's a
team, it added
business.
15 to 20 million.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is like a business.
it
It's
is.
growing
Yeah.
up. Yeah,
So, and an
yeah.
older player, most of the time, cost a lot of money to buy, has a high salary, but his performance is getting lower and lower
Mm-hmm.
when he gets older, instead of getting better and better. Yes, he is experienced, and yeah, true. So, so you need to find the right
And
balance.
sometimes you can even sell them, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. We have three little questions. It's
Okay.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, if
I
you
think how much longer we have?
actually we said for 45 minutes, we are around 1 hours. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, First question: if you could give a one message to coaches or academy directors in countries like Iran, what would it be? What do you say to us after all of this
Mm.
information?
Make the base all your decisions, base them on what is the best for the development of your individual players,
Mm, yeah, very wise.
not on your own agenda, not on somebody else's agenda, but what are my decisions helping those players to become better players.
Okay, that's a very wise as always. Uh, Next question, it is I'm just curious. I have a curiosity about this. Who is the most talented young player you ever work with?
Wow.
Who,
Yeah.
what
Um,
player that you see and you say, wow, this is great. This is amazing.
yeah. Actually, um, yeah, most talented. Then it's easy to name one of the Jurjen Timber, for example.
Wow.
He's Arsenal now, but yes, he was one of them. But actually, I want to say another player who he made it to the national team of Holland,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't become a long-term regular starter. And his name was Fernan Anita.
Anita.
Oh, you know him?
I think
Okay,
he's a
he's playing.
defensive midfielder. I
Yeah,
think. Am I
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think he played in England,
yeah,
and
yeah,
now he's in the end of his career, and he's
yeah,
playing
yeah.
in Holland in the at Volendam,
Mm.
in the first division. They promoted last year. But why I named this player, because he was very skillful, but he was very yeah, he's not a big guy. He's a small guy. Actually, Jurjen Timber is also not a big guy. He's also a small guy.
But a strong
But
player.
yeah, he was strong, but he never used. He only used his strength when it was really no other option. But most of the time, when he was in duel, although he was very small, he always won his duels
Wow.
by his timing of making the contact with the other player was always so spot on that the other player was always out of balance, and he's not, and he could take the ball, and he was gone. I thought when I saw him playing, he played in my under 16 team while he was under 15, and I think it was so special. This timing of playing his duels, and also his quality in passing, and his techniques was also very good. A fantastic mentality. Actually, he had everything, but yeah, he was physically a very small player. I think that didn't help him to get to the real top.
Okay.
He
Okay.
had ingredients to get there. So
Uh,
it's
yeah.
always hard to pick out one player, but he yeah, he was special. And there was another guy, Jan Ari van der Heijden. He was a left midfielder. Finally, he played at Feyenoord as a central defender. and I think he's almost retired now, but he was playing on the midfield, left midfielder in my under 16 team. But he was not quick, but he was extremely skillful in passing, in controlling the ball, in opening up, etc., etc. But he was slow, and but he was a very intelligent boy. So on a certain moment, there was the ball that was up front, and I always wanted my left midfielder to support the attack. When the cross came from the right side, then he should be at the edge of the penalty box for the opponent. And and the ball was there on the right winger, instead of pushing forward and going to the edge of the box, he was standing still and he was dropping back to the defense. I think, what he's doing now? We had ball possession, but he had already seen that we were going to lose the ball within a second, because
Anticipation.
he was already anticipating, and the ball came long and he got the ball. And he had a lot of those kind of moments. So when you talk what is talent, then the thing I said about Vernon, I think, is talent, and anticipation, like in Jan-Ari van der Heijden, that could do that. I think that's talent. And if a player is controlling the ball in a way that he can delay his decision, I think that's okay. Do you understand what I say with controlling the ball? And if you control it in front of you, you have no time. If you control it a little bit behind you, then there is a split of a second, more time to make your decision and to delay your decision. Those kind of things, in my opinion, is talent. This is how I look to players.
Yeah, I think that the coaches have this intelligence to to identify these skills, just like you mentioned.
And do you know how I learned to recognize those kind of things?
No.
Your first question was, how did it like to work in an elite academy?
Yeah.
Because there were people who already knew this, and they told me. So I learned to see that.
Wow, it's a very good cycle. I like this.
Yeah, but that's why it's sometimes difficult in countries where it's not like that, or in clubs, is better to say it like that. In clubs where you don't have that environment, it's more difficult to create that environment. So yeah, you should go abroad and go visit clubs, and maybe have conversations like we have now, or invite people to explain those kind of things. I think that's a learning process for years, and I think that's a job of the association or a club to promote that. The things you do now, a lot of people should do that. That's gonna help football in a country.
I always believe these collaborations, it's so important.
Yeah,
For people who want to learn, I think.
Yeah.
Because I want to learn. I love to learn.
Yeah. Starts with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. For the last question, it's
Okay.
I always want to ask these from Dutch guys. I love Johan Cruyff very much. I admire him as a player, as a coach. His journey in Ajax, in Barcelona, his 3-4-3 diamonds formation, all of them. What do you think about Johan Cruyff?
What I think about Johan, I think he was a brilliant player. I think he has all the things I mentioned just about talent. He had it, and I think also that sometimes it sounds difficult if you listen to him, but actually it always, if you really think about what he's trying to say, actually it's very easy. And also, I think nowadays coaches try to make things very complex in with
Complicated.
difficult words and make it complicated. And I think it's not so complicated. And I think Cruyff really made the basic things he did very well.
Hmm.
And he was very talented as a player. It was unbelievable. I think he did a lot of intuition, but he was also thinking a lot about situations and how to take advantage of situations. And he was really renewing football.
Yeah.
And I think the football we see nowadays in top football, I think he is. I don't say it's because of him, but I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
sure he had a big contribution to how football is looked like now.
Yeah. And he as a manager, and also he was great. Actually,
Yeah.
he has a one seminar that we have in website too from
Okay.
Johan Cruyff,
Yeah.
our first seminar in Aspire in Qatar, I think.
Yeah.
That's a very, very, very good seminar. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, uh, at last, thank you. As
You're
always,
welcome.
I learn a lot. As I always saying this to my friends, you are the wisest man in football that I know.
Thank you.
I can't thank you enough, and thank you for time, for your knowledge, for your wisdom, and
Can I say something to the people who listen?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
of course,
are
of
you
course.
going to translate this
Uh,
or
add
on the subtitle?
subtitles. Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
I really hope, like what we said at the end, that when we talked about learning and learning from other people, I'm learning every day still, and I will keep on learning till I die. And I hopefully this can help people or to inspire them, or uh, and also that everybody needs to know that if you really want to reach something, there is always a way that you can get there or get close to it. Or so never give up. And if you love the game, if you love educating kids, and then I would say, please keep on learning and give the best to the players. Don't make yourself important, but make the development of the players important.
The last sentence that was fantastic. That's a very good uh, piece of advice. Uh, as always, thank you, Mr. Cloud. That's an honor. I'm glad to talk to you again. And do you have any last words or advice for us?
Now I just gave you. I was closing already, but
Okay, okay, okay. That was
no.
in my questions, so I forget that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Cloud.
Okay.
Have a great day, as always. Thank you again.
Good luck. Okay,
Good
we
luck.
keep in touch. Bye bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.